All right, so let's kind of get back to the game here against the 49ers for just a second. I wanted to hit on this and shout out to Robert. He's been giving us the updates on the head official every week. I love it when listeners are like, hey, man, can I do this for the show? Absolutely, man. Appreciate y'all doing that. So when we look at the officials and their kind of statistics, if you will, how many calls are they averaging? How many penalties are they averaging per game? Cleet Blakeman leads the league right now, 15.9 flags per game. Obviously his whole crew. Ron Tolbert.
Advice for y'all: take 2 weeks off, then quit.
Coming in at a close second is our boy Ron Tolbert, right? This guy right here. He's coming in at 15.1 flags per game. Then we got Alex Kemp, and then after that 14.5. Then after that we got 14.1, Mr. Craig Rolstad. That is the head official for the game this week. So we have the official we got this week is averaging 4th most flags thrown this year on a per game basis. So last week we looked up. Who was it last week? It wasn't Vinovich. Who was it we had last week? Do you remember? Because I know they were towards the bottom of the list, and we really we were excited about this game. It might have been Vinovich. Whoever it was.
Right.
Yeah. Whoever it was, he was in the bottom 3 or 4, and you've seen flags weren't a huge issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
If anything, they let a lot of stuff go, especially when the Chicago Bears running back before the snap went. The ball being snapped. Yeah.
They didn't even want to pull it. That's too much work pulling it out of the pocket.
Hilarious, man. I will never forget that. It's hilarious. So, again, thank you to Robert for pointing that out. So, hopefully the flags don't get out of control, but Craig Rolstad's thrown the 4th most flags this year of all officials. So we'll keep our eye on that as we get closer to game day. Now let's talk. Let's see. I want to play this clip. This was from the Pat McAfee show earlier today, and I sent this over to you earlier, Emilio. You guys know we're always talking about the middle 8 and everything, and not many people talk about it. One of the guys that I learned it from was Bill Belichick and Michael Lombardi. They're constantly talking about it. If you'll throw me a screen grab up, Emilio, if you don't mind, sir. Just any of them that you like. We can do Rashawn Gary or any of them. There we go. I like it. All right, so here is what Michael Lombardi had to say about the Green Bay Packers on the Pat McAfee show earlier today, and see if this stuff sounds familiar, obviously. If we can get it to play. It may have froze on me. Here we go.
Playoffs are always decided by 3rd and 4th and short, and always at the end of the half scoring. Green Bay's the 31st team in the National Football League in handling third and short on defense. They're not good there. They're the 31st team in the National Football League in stopping people from scoring in the 4-minute at the middle 8. So they don't play really good. And then what makes them really challenging is they're the worst. They're the 31st defense on first down pass defense on their defense. They have 6 first-round picks on defense. So they got a lot invested in this defense, but they don't play to that level all the time, and they haven't turned the ball over.
Remember us talking about that last year, Emilio? Everyone kept saying, we've got so many first-round picks.
Yep.
Barry's garbage. And it's still an issue.
Recently, like they did earlier in the year. This will be interesting. I think San Francisco comes out throwing. The key to this game for San Francisco is they got to play from the front. They can't get into a drop-back pass game.
I didn't know that stat about 3rd and 4th.
Now think about that. The key for the San Francisco 49ers is to throw the football, right? If Brock Purdy doesn't play, that's going to really throw him in.
And get out in front.
Right, exactly.
4th and short for the Green Bay Packers, because if you think late in the NFC playoffs, 3rd and 4th and short is a guaranteed go.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Eagles here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
automatic.
That's just, you might as well just continue running that entire thing. And then first down, he said pass defense not great at all. So they're staying on schedule in this entire thing. And then middle 8.
No, they're bad. You can throw the ball as good as anybody against them on first down. They're very generic on first down. Yeah. You
so
can't
that's
do
setting
that.
up for a 3rd and short.
Mm-hmm.
That's setting up for a 3rd and 4th and short, So like whenever you talk about, and obviously being able to win games now matters. I'm not saying it doesn't, because getting into the dance. But in the dance now, which we should all start thinking about, it's like, does your team have what it takes to be able to win whenever it comes down to it? I didn't know that was a Packers deficiency. I guess you guys are seeing that every week.
Yeah, like Lombo said, too, like it didn't really show up earlier in the season because they were turning the ball over so much. So it was kind of, you just kind of went with it. But like Jair Alexander is kind of a willy won't he every single week to play. Like he's been on the injury report for the last like 5 weeks, and they're down another cornerback right now, so they're playing some of their backups, and they have it. I mean, the Bears kind of ran it down their throats last week, and it's been like that the last couple of weeks, and they haven't been turning the ball over.
All right, let's pivot away from that. Go ahead.
No, they just never stopped Caleb from running the rhythm. Caleb ran the spacing rhythm passing game last week, and the Packers really never stopped it.
Caleb.
Yeah. They won, though. So,
What a year. I know. But what a year.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I couldn't even fathom.
They're 4-2.
Yeah, from one team that is.
All right. So there you go. Again, obviously mentioned in the middle eight and how the Packers have struggled with the middle eight this year. We've talked about it every single postgame show. The games that we've won where we've lost the middle eight and the turnover differential is mind-boggling that we're able to pull out those wins. That's why when I go and I hear fans react and they're like overly negative, and it's like, bro, we shouldn't have won this game. Like, you should be happy with this. Like, we did not deserve to win this game, and we still pulled out the win. Imagine when they do get everything clicking, what this team's going to be able to do,
Right. And I get being mad at the performance and stuff like that, but just be happy there's a W in the win column. That's all that matters. We just need to get to week 18 with more wins than other teams, more wins than enough of the other teams, and we're moving on. But, yeah, I think, Lombardi's got a great point there. The fact that we are easy on first down and we are easy on third down is a problem. That's an issue. We at least tighten up on third, or at least cause them issues on the first down that puts them in peculiar third downs and stuff like that. But we haven't been able to do that too much, and especially last game, we talked about that earlier, and then rolling that into ending it up in third and shorts. That's why we are probably 31st, is because of so many third and shorts that we're giving up. Like the fact that you're easy on first down, you get way too much. Second down's no problem, and you're in a third and short and they're converting it. That's going to lead to problems down the road. If we're on the field too much, that's an issue. We need to be able to end drives at some point. We can bend, that's totally fine, but I hope we can, end it sooner than because we're not breaking really. How many times have we gotten beaten over the top?
Right. So has it happened? Yeah.
It's just I just need them to bend a little bit less and just put your foot in the ground at some point.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Kenneth Hammond in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Says, where is Jamin Davis at? Jamin Davis at for getting on the active roster. They were singing his praises, former first-round pick out of Kentucky. They tried him, was it at the Jets, I think, whatever team it was. They tried him as an edge defender. I watched him at Kentucky. I felt like he was more of a stack backer. He gets to Green Bay. That's the first thing they said. We're going to be playing him at linebacker, not edge rusher. So you may see him emerge here a little later in the year. Wouldn't that be something, Amelia? This dude just comes off the practice squad, and all of a sudden he's steps into a role. This might be the week we see him. Like, I was going to say that when we were talking about Edgerrin Cooper potentially missing this week, like, hey, what about Jamin Davis getting called up this week? But then when you guys said Tyron Hopper, I'm like, nah, that probably makes more sense. He's got some more experience within the defense, but who knows, man? We'll see.
I hear your point on that. I mean, at least he's gotten the reps, right? I'm glad we went out and got him when we did and got him in here before, because at some point you're going to have an injury. Something's going to come up, and here it is. And that's where it's like, okay, we need to get Quay out of there, and it needs to be Eric Wilson and Edgerrin Cooper. All right, well, Cooper's gone. Do you want Quay to go back in there if you wanted Quay out of there? So it's like, leave who's steady in there. The only time Quay has been off this field is when he's seriously been injured with that concussion. Like, who remembers Quay remember when Quay pushed the trainer?
Yep.
And then walked down the hallway just absolutely upset with himself. Like, he's come so far. I just want something to connect that turns him into something that we can hang our hat on. But I know everyone's down on him right now, and I get it, but we don't have a super deep linebacker core. We got to take what we have right now.
I completely understand what you're saying there too, man, because I've been down on him, right? But at the same time, like we've talked about his personality. I love his personality. Like, he's kind of a quiet guy, but when you get him on the field, you could tell he's mean as hell on the football field.
Right.
I love that. When he sent that tweet out, hey, who in Green Bay got a boat? I want to go fishing. Right? I'm like, this is my guy. But, man, it just has not panned out.
I know.
On the football field, man. Sucks so bad, because you want those type of guys to work out, obviously. AFAM in the chat, Josh Jacobs has been impressive. He really has, AFAM. He's a dog. Now, listen, his yards per attempt isn't quite as much or quite as good as the two running backs that are ahead of him in rushing yards. He's third, I think, in the league in rushing right now. But man, you talking about steady Eddie, Emilio. We talk about these cutbacks too, man. There's many plays where it's not blocked up well, and he's going right out the back door for 10 or 12 yards.
Oh, definitely. And I know that, everyone, they're not everyone, but some people aren't happy with the O-line and the offense in general. And it's like, that's okay. But I mean, they've given up the least amount of sacks this year. And Josh Jacobs is a top 5 running back, about to break over 1,000 yard scrimmage yards already, and about to break 1,000 rushing. Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at it, right? Like they're doing their job. It is what's happening. But yeah, our first round pick's not out there. And I just don't know why everyone's mad at their, the offense of not, Jordan's throwing some picks, but he's right around where he was last year at this time.
Right.
You never know when that turn-on game's going to happen. What if he throws 5 touchdowns this week and everyone's going to be like, oh, well, no, yeah, we knew Jordan Love was elite.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
This whole time we knew. Why were you guys getting all stressed out about it? Like,
And listen, in the last 5 games, he scored over a 70 in PFF.
Yeah.
Like, he has been consistent. It's just he's been inconsistent at the same time. Like, you play a hell of a game there on Sunday, and then you airmail that ball. Obviously, just a physical mistake. The ball got away from him, ends up being an interception. If they kick a field goal right there and Jordan doesn't throw that interception, you're going, man, Jordan had a hell of a game. Everybody's saying that. But it's just that one pick, just like that crucial pick 6 the week before when he, just made the 2 weeks before against Detroit where he just made that mistake,
And then the other one against the Rams or whatever, So I mean, he's done it. But it's not going to matter at the end of the year. It's really not going to matter as long as it gets better or things change at the end of the year. I think that's where we're going to be with him. We just, like we said, we want to know, is it going to be 50%, 75%, or 100% he's the guy? That's all we need to know at the end of this year.
Yeah. 2-0 for this says Quay hasn't been the same since he lost that fire. Sure, it was dangerous, but he was promising before pushing those coaches. I completely agree. Yeah. As you were talking, Emilio, that's what I was thinking it's like he took a step back and he's not as aggressive on the football field. As silly as that sounds, it's like, Quay, those aren't coaches. You can hit this guy. You're allowed to hit this guy. But it does kind of feel like that. It really does.
Rip one more chain off, Quay. Just, start break a little bit more loose, and I think we'd have the perfect medium where we want him. But I don't know, man. I give him the rest of the year to make a name for himself right before we drag him.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. You just, again, if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But you got to get to the point where what might light a fire under his ass too is giving other guys the majority of the snaps and giving them a shot, right? Mm-hmm. And he's still going to be heavy in the rotation. It's just, again, I don't see it, me personally, and I hope I'm wrong in the long haul. But we'll find out soon enough. By the end of the year, we should know exactly what we've got there in that.
He's regard. The tenured linebacker there. You know what I mean? He is the veteran in that room. He is the veteran linebacker in that room. So
no doubt,
it's a tough dynamic.
All right, let's talk about where these two teams, Green Bay and San Francisco, are ranked in key statistical categories as a team. All right. So points per play, you guys know this is the metric that I put the most stock in. The gambling community loves points per play in terms of trying to determine, all right, how effective is an offense, how effective an offense actually is. Detroit is in first with 0.538 points per play. The first of these two teams, Green Bay, is in the number 8 spot at 0.407. So we're a legit number 8 scoring offense in the league right now. San Francisco right behind them at 0.401. So in terms of scoring, Emilio, these offenses are neck and neck, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when we go to total offense, we're going to go yards per play. San Francisco is actually second in the entire National Football League at 6.4 yards per play. Green Bay is fourth at 6.3 yards per play. All right. So, again, offense is just neck and neck here. Rushing yards per attempt. Baltimore's leading the way at 5.8. San Francisco is fourth in the league at 5.0. Green Bay is sitting at 4.9, right behind them in the number 6 spot. It's just wild how close these offenses are as far as in terms of where they rank. You go passing offense, yards per pass attempt. San Francisco's third at 8.5. Green Bay is fourth at 8.3.
Wow.
It is wild, man.
It's going to be a good game. It really and that's why you see the what's the line at 1.5. So that's why you see it, man. It's going to be a close game all the way through. I think it's going to come down to all three phases. I was going to ask you earlier, or just reminded me when I saw it again, but the kickoff game. What's Key going to do if it's 40 degrees outside and a little bit of wind or something? The ball ends up a little short. Do you think that this could be a breakout game for him in the return game?
It could be. It could be. That's been a big, like in Chicago, they let him return the ball. Did you see that? They were giving him opportunities, and he just couldn't get it together on kickoff, could he?
But I'm fine with that. If that had to happen in Chicago, and then the first real cold game hits and he breaks one, I mean that's the spark we need. That's that one flip of the field, or that one momentum swing you need to get a game going. Could happen, the start of the second half, but that would be something that would be something to look out for this year or this game. I'm sorry.
Look at this in terms of giveaways per game. So how often does your offense give the ball away? Okay. Green Bay is 22nd worst in the league at 1.4. Look at this chart. Thank you so much, man. The real MVP.
Wow.
DQ Blizzard. Thank you, man.
Ooh-wee. Bless you, man.
I'm sure that came out of my account, but anyway. So Green Bay is tied for 22nd worst in the league at 1.4 giveaways per game. San Francisco, 21st at 1.3. Like, this is crazy how close they are in all these categories. So, listen, Green Bay, we're expecting them to button this up, right? We're expecting them to start protecting the football better as the rest of the year goes on. And the reality is, if San Francisco's starting quarterback isn't going to be playing, and even if he is, he's got a bum shoulder this week, it would kind of make you think, all right, San Francisco might go in the opposite direction. Now, they can run the football, right? And they're going to try to run the football. To me, it just seems like the top priority should be stop the damn run. I don't know how you feel about it, Dale.
Yeah, I think it has to be. And, if we can hem up, Christian McCaffrey, we just got to be ready for their backups. They can rotate a lot. It's not like they don't have a couple of talented backs back there. Yeah, but if you can get a couple points, if we've talked about this, you can get a couple scores on the board. You can hem up the run pretty fast. You can get him away from what he wants to do pretty quickly, put him into having to call 75% passes, and then we're off to the races. I think that we would I think that we would win in a shootout, right? We would definitely take them in a shootout in this kind of environment, this weather type stuff. So
yeah, definitely. All right, so let's move on to the defensive side of the ball. NFL team opponent points per play. So this is points per play that the defense is allowing. Look at the LA Chargers, 0.238. Jim Harbaugh went in there and completely turned that team around, bro. That is wild, isn't it? So as far as San Francisco and Green Bay is 11th in the league right now at 0.348 points per play allowed on defense. So a legit scoring defense, 11th in the league, borderline top 10, right? San Francisco, 19th at 0.374. That kind of surprised me that their scoring defense was 19th in the league. Does that catch you off guard a little bit? I thought their defense was a lot better than that.
Yeah, with Bosa's injury, I think they've kind of been, maybe a little bit more up and down. And who is it? Greenlaw. They missed him, and that when he got hurt, I think that's crazy. That messed up their linebacking core big. So getting around those injuries and stuff, that's not a terrible number. I think that's probably the farthest separation they've had this whole time, right? That's about it. Besides that, they are neck and neck.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that's scoring defense. Now let's move on to let's go total defense. All right, opponent yards per play. When it comes to that, San Francisco is in the top 10. So they're tied for seventh at 5.1 yards per play. And in this regard, Green Bay is tied for 13th with Detroit. Actually, no, tied for 11th, so much closer. So, yeah, they are just 4 spots below them there at 11th at 5.3 yards per play. So you give the slight edge there to San Francisco in terms of when it comes to total yardage allowed there on yards per play. Now, when we go to rush defense, let's go to opponents' yards per rush. San Francisco is sitting in the number 9 spot at 4.3. Green Bay is in the 15th spot, actually the 13th spot at 4.4. So just 1/10 of a yard, right? 1/10 of a yard less or giving up more than San Francisco as far as rushing yards per attempt. So they're neck and neck right there as far as run defense goes.
Absolutely crazy.
When we go to pass defense, see, I got a pterodactyl trying to get my blizzard now. That ain't happening, bub. Sorry about it. Opponent yards per pass attempt. San Francisco is currently sitting in the number 6 spot, actually tied for 5th with the Chargers at 6.1. And Green Bay is 16th at 6.6. So this is what Lombardi was talking about, right, with the passing defense. So we're giving up a little bit more yards per attempt in passing, give the slight edge to the San Francisco 49ers defense in that regard. And then when we go to turnovers and we talked about giveaways, let's talk about takeaways per game. So the Green Bay Packers are tied for third in the league at 1.9 takeaways per game. San Francisco is 8th at 1.6 takeaways per game. So with all those stats, everything we just heard, it sounds like it's going to be a hell of a ball game, does it not?
It does. It really does.
Plays. Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, we need to get back to that 1.9 a game. I mean, we haven't had any in 2. And so the front of the season is carrying those numbers. So I would like for us to get back to the turnover numbers again. Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, for me, it's going to come down to protecting the football like it always does.
Yep.
But if I'm going in this game, whether Brock Purdy plays or not, I'm stopping the run and making them beat me in the pass. That's the way I'm approaching this. If they're going to beat us, Brock Purdy's going to have to throw the ball 40 times with that sore shoulder. That's the way I approach it. And if he's not playing or he leaves the game because the shoulder is too sore, then let's make the backup beat us. Just don't let them come out and run the ball down our throat. And I don't think we will. I think we're going to come out ready to play. I think it's going to be a hell of a ball game. The line has shifted a little bit. It started at 3. The Packers were 3-point favorites, right? And it's now down to, like you said, I think 1.5. Some markets, some places have it at 1.5. So it has shifted a little bit. Now we'll see tomorrow whether or not, if that line jumps one way or the other, that should give us an indication on whether the sharps in the betting world know whether or not Brock Purdy's got a really good chance of playing. So
right.
That's something to keep our eye on there. All right, so there is your team statistics and how that shakes out. Let's go to the chat real quick. Got a couple marked in here. Kenneth Hammond, Purdy must be really low chance to start. It's feeling like that after that report we heard earlier. Deadfish, Devondre Campbell, there's a blast from the past, starting weak side linebacker for the 49ers. And boys, let me tell you, he is not having a good year last time I checked. I'm going to pull that up right now, Amelia. Do you miss Devondre Campbell at all? Yeah.
That's a hard pass. I like the 59 we got now. Tyrone Hopper is a thumper, man. And I would be super happy if he gets a couple reps this game. Just put them out there, right? If they got 3 backs out there, they got 2 backs, and they've been run heavy, or they're just trying to chew clock. Get them out there and try to make a play. If we don't have Cooper's speed, let's get another, rookie with downhill speed that wants to stick his nose in there, make a play sort of thing, and just get them out there, give them a shot.
Yeah, and I was wrong on that. It was a 2. It went in the opposite direction, like I was talking about. It was currently. The line opened at minus 2.5 Green Bay, right? Green Bay being 2.5-point favorites. And then it jumped, or it fell to 2-point favorites. And now we're all the way to Green Bay being 3-point favorites. So it does kind of suggest that Purdy's trending towards not playing if you were to just take that into consideration, right?
Right.
So we'll see. As far as the PFF preview, actually, I was wanting to pull up the lineups real quick. Let's do this real quick. Yeah, Devondre Campbell's grading out a 55.9 currently. Look at Fred Warner, bro. What a dog, man. An absolute dog. Fred Warner, 91.1. He is the highest graded linebacker in football. And Devondre Campbell is now 55.9. He's 64th in the league. And, of course, Joey Bosa, 90.3, just an absolute dog. But really, outside of those 2 players, Emilio, this defense – they're not playing too well in terms of PFF grades, right?
No, looking at the grades, a lot of yellow, and then just a couple grades with Warner and Bosa. But like we said, if Bosa doesn't go, like you were saying, that could really open up the game for us. I think we could really churn out a lot. I think that you can run away from him, you can scheme it up away from him, but him, always having to go opposite of Bosa gets predictable. So let's even if he is out there, we do have to run the ball. I think that's going to be key. Get a couple duos, or Matt just needs to kind of open his book just a little bit more. I think we kind of need to get back to some of his, the split flows that we got into. Don't go crazy on it, but I think him fluttering those in recently has helped. Just that sort of stuff. Let's 2 tight end set and run the ball down their throat. I mean, set the tone. It's going to be cold. First cold game of the year. Get a win at home, get it over with, and move on.
That's the other thing, too, with Josh Jacobs. You would imagine him being more of a power back than we have with Aaron Jones. The colder the weather gets, the less those guys are going to want to hit him,
Yeah.
So you would think that would play in our favor. And I feel like Emmanuel Wilson's got a little pop to him as well. Let's see your coach.
I feel like a lot of running backs, but Josh definitely gets heated up as the game goes on for sure.
Definitely. Coach Lynn in the chat said, with Ja possibly out, do we give King his shot? What do you think about that, Amelia? I'm going to pull up the defense here and see if it pops up at all. Obviously, he hasn't played this year, so you're not going to see him on this list. But when you look at the corners as they currently sit, don't look now, guys, but other than Jair Alexander, Carrington Valentine has the highest score of our cornerback room at a 61.3. Next would be Keyshawn Nixon, 56.8, and then Javon Bullard in the slot at 54.1. I wouldn't have a problem with giving Kalen King a shot. What do you think about what Coach Lynn said here?
I don't wouldn't be mad at it at all, because we, like Coach was saying here, they were, a couple people were saying no to that, but he was asking why not. We know what we have in Stokes. I say let him get some reps and see what he can do. I think I'm with that as well. We've gone young. Why not keep going young, man? They're going to go out there and make mistakes. We threw Bullard out there. We threw Evan out there. Mm-hmm. It would be the same thing. I think Coach brought it up earlier too. Throw Oladapo out there as well and see what we got. See what we have. We really don't know.
What do you got to lose, right?
Yeah, right. If another injury happens, he's coming up anyway. And I think they were talking about Haddon as well, that he's been brought up on the practice squad twice. Someone mentioned that in the chat. So I think he would be maxed out if he comes up once more. But yeah, man, give him a shot. Let him play. If you got a young guy out there that wants to get reps, him and Valentine, ball out, cool. And, then that could be a rotation later on in the year. If Ja doesn't get healthy, then we have to make a decision, whatever. But we got to know at some point.
Yeah. Now, George Kittle's still George Kittle. If he plays this week, he's the highest graded tight end in the league at a 90.0. Wide receiver wise, they've got their boy Jawan, I think is how you say it, Jawan Jennings, 86.9. Amelia, he's done nothing but got better since he got in the league. 2021, 66.2, 68.1, 74.1, then an 86.9, the fifth highest graded wide receiver in the game this year. Deebo Samuel, 29th at a 75.6. So he's playing solid football. Obviously, Ricky Pearsall, this man right here, one of the toughest SOBs on the face of the planet, taking a gunshot to the chest and just, hey, yeah, I'll come back in a couple weeks. We'll be fine, right? As his teammates said, he really earned some street cred coming back from that. 63.2, we always talk about as a rookie, grade out in the 60s. You're tracking to be a good NFL player. He's obviously the 31st pick in the draft there in the first round. Trent Williams, still Trent Williams, 85.6 at left tackle. He's an absolute dog. Puny, remember that name? We were talking about him in the draft. He ended up going in the third round, 87th pick. He's grading out at 80.8. How would you like to have that on the Packers offensive line right now? That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it?
Dad just was saying it right here. I think we took Puny in every mock draft.
We did, man. We did.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find him real quick. I can't remember if we had him listed as interior or a tackle.
I want to say he was a tackle if I'm looking.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I do remember him from Kansas. We were looking at him. We excited about him kind of right in the middle of the draft there. But,
And we had him lit up in the green too. He was definitely on the Packers target list because of all the measurables and everything. So we had him as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ninth best tackle. It just so happens that Pooney was right behind Jordan Morgan on my draft board. So,
and they did the exact same thing with him as we did with Jordan Morgan.
Yep.
Take a tackle, bring him inside, put him at guard.
Yep.
He was healthy and Jordan wasn't. I mean, that's the bottom line right there.
Yep. So it looks like they've got them a solid guard there at right tackle. Colton McVivitz, I guess is how you say it. McVivitz. 71.9 is his grade. He's a mauler, 75 run blocking grade. He ain't no Zach Tom, but he's pretty solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and their center play, again, you don't have to be a great center, but 64.2, boy, I would love to have that on the Packers. Solid, right? It's a solid grade compared to what we got going on. Brock Purdy, the 9th highest graded quarterback in the league. That dude he's a stud, man. I know people still don't want to accept it. He looks just like Lee Harvey Oswald, though. I can't get over it, bro. This guy right here may have been in Dallas, November 22nd, 1963. I'll just leave it at that, right? He's a time traveler. But PFF grade, man, starting in 2022, 77.7, 87.4, and this year, 81.3. He's been solid. I really hope he doesn't play Sunday. Christian McCaffrey obviously been limited in his snaps. He's been back 2 games now, so he's getting a full workload now. 72.7. Last year he graded out a 90.3, so he's definitely underperforming in that regard. Going to take a little bit of time to get him back up to speed there. So anything else you want to hit as far as their offense against our defense here, Emilio?
They have a lot of bright colors. It looks like their offense is lit up, and they really are so close. What they had 4 of their losses, 3 of them were less than 3 points, some along those lines. They could be 8-2 right now. So we really do need to show up and, kind of just like how we've asked, Matt LaFleur and the Packers, keep going during the game, keep the gas pedal down, put your foot on them, all that stuff. We need to do that this game and come out fast to this offense, kind of punch them in the mouth and keep them off the field. If Matt wants to, not allow this offense to cook or do whatever Kyle wants to do, run the ball, keep them off the field, chew up the clock. We could have 6 possessions like we did last week. We had 1 punt. We ended up 5 times in the red zone. That would be perfectly fine with me. We just need to convert. That's all that would matter. We could have had 35 points, right? So that's really all it comes down to. If we get 6 possessions, 1 punt, and we can get in the red zone, we just need to finish, chew the clock, and keep them off the field.
I like what J. Cole says. He looks like a Harbaugh talking about Brock Purdy. He really does, don't he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put some glasses on him, call it a day.
You might want to call Mrs. Purdy and say, you never met a man named Jim, did you? I'm just asking for a friend. So, all right, there's your PFF preview as far as their offense. Let's go back to our offense real quick and take a look at their nickel defense against our 11 personnel. So Christian Watson, 73.9. He's now the 35th highest graded receiver in the game. Let's freaking go. Jaden Reed, 72.7. That's 39th best in the league. So you got legit 2 borderline number 1 receivers in terms of being a top 32 graded receiver in the league. Romeo Dobbs, 64.3. So that's a solid number 2. Really what you got is what we talked about all along. You've got 2 really good number 2 receivers and a solid number 2 receiver, right? You don't really have that true number 1 in terms of PFF grades as of right now. You guys know how the offense operates. That's not a huge deal. You're going to spread the ball around, hit the open receiver. You're going to scheme guys open. Tucker Kraft up to a 61.2, now 44th in terms of tight ends. Jordan Love is now the 21st highest graded quarterback at a 72.7. This is what we talked about over the last it's always, for some reason, it won't let me pull up the last few games. I wish it would. I think it was the last 5 games he graded out over a 70. So Jordan's really starting to turn it up a touch. I'm excited to see what he does as we get closer to finishing this season out. Josh Jacobs is now the 4th highest graded running back in the game, 84.9, a run grade of 86.4, receiving grade 72.3, really solid there.
So far, what the second? Is that the second best or third best of his career right now? So third, right?
Third, yeah. And it's funny, but I was just about to bring that up. Like we talked about in the offseason, are you getting 2022 Josh Jacobs or are you getting 2023? 2023 graded out of 65. It's looking like 2022 Josh Jacobs, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. That or his first year in the league at 2019 with an 87-1 there. So just keep feeding him the ball. He's going to get more carries as the season goes on, and we're going to see what this run scheme can do. If Matt can scheme him up, give him just a couple opportunities, make a man miss in the hole, and that's all that it takes. Like Steno was talking about his one touchdown. He goes, all we were looking for on that one run to Josh was getting a downhill run and giving him an opportunity. We gave him an opportunity with a man in the hole. He made a miss, and that's it. Goal touchdown, man. Everyone's man up, and all you got to do is, everything you worked for, right? All offseason, all the ladders you hit, all the dummies, all that stuff was for that juke and score.
Yeah. This right here, man, 5'10", 223, thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, dude. This guy is like, I didn't realize he was that thick when we signed him, but man, I'm telling you, put it on Luke. Him calling out Jalen Johnson and going, come here, little boy. Get you some of this real quick. God, it was awesome. Absolutely. It's been a while since we've had a running back like that.
Yep.
The other thing, too, Jason Wilde had been talking about this on Wilde and Tausch a lot. Did you hear this story? You may have mentioned it on the show. I apologize if you did. But he's making Marshawn Lloyd ride with him to practice every day.
Yeah. Yep, I remember. I was saying that because he was getting down on himself. Lloyd was getting down on himself, getting injured. I'm sure he's back down on himself again, being out, having to be out another 4 games, right? He won't be back up till, week 16, a chance to come back. So all that helps, having that brotherhood, that buddy that'll just hop in the car with you. All right, we're going to practice. Like that reminds you of those college days kind of things where you get up early, got 6 a.m. practice, you're cutting it close, had a little too much fun the night before. It's 5:45, you rip over and you're ready for sprints. But that's the kind of friend you need, kind of teammate you need.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, good stuff there, man. That was a lot of fun breaking down the PFF preview. Just a touch. Let's end it here in the chat real quick. J. Cole in the chat said, I want this game bad. I hope J. Love is out for blood this game, much like the Chiefs game last year. That man cooked them last year. I agree, Jay, but I also want him playing kind of within the scheme. Don't try to do too much, right? There's nothing I would love more than J. Love to come out and throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns and just absolutely annihilate the Niners. But it just feels like with their defense, you're going to have to I don't want to say play it safe, but just take what they give you, stay ahead of schedule, don't get caught up in all the first down passing. That's the stuff that get you in trouble. And again, last week, I thought Matt LaFleur did an excellent job. I think he only threw eight first down passes. They completed 6 of those 8. You're cooking. You're getting that defense now thinking about, holy crap, they're going to throw on first down. We got to be ready, right?
And we have, I want to say we had 18 first downs, and it was either we only converted 3 or like none on third down. Like it was basically we got them in first or second down, or we got stopped on third. So that's something we got to work to, but awesome that we're getting, like you said, not always having to throw it on first down, but also getting that conversion, getting those yards, moving the ball.
No. Daryl in the chat, all they need to do is confuse the defense. Got to have the 49ers defense off rhythm. Completely agree. Working in play action. Did you notice last week too, Emilio, under center a lot more?
Yep.
That dude, I'm telling you, it's huge.
Every bit helps. You got to be able to turn the back.
Definitely. 2-0 for this. They replace regular Aaron Jones with a thicker Aaron Jones. It's true, man. The cutback ability that Josh Jacobs has. I don't think it's quite at the level of Aaron Jones, because Aaron Jones, it's like that middle gear, right? Going from second to third, Aaron could really hit that burst quick. But boy, when this snow starts flying at Lambeau and it gets a little bit colder, we get the 4-wheel drive now at Lambeau. I'm excited about it, man.
Me too.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll see you, Greg Rice. I don't want Love trying really hard. I want him loose. Amen. Just play within the scheme. Take what the defense gives you. Daryl in the chat says Jacobs is a wrecking ball when it comes to running with the football in his hands. He's a lot of fun to watch, man. That's more of my favorite style of running back. I don't know how you feel, Emilio, but I grew up watching Jerome Bettis. My brother, passed away.
The rubber elbows right here.
Oh, bro. And see, my brother's the one who got me, you know, he passed away earlier this year. Obviously, the one who got me loving football, professional football. He came in on military leave. He was over in Saudi Arabia, and he was over there in the Gulf War and in the first Iraq War. And he come in for like a 2-week leave, and he was like, "Hey, let's watch some football." And he turned me on to the Steelers, and that's why I became a Steelers fan as a kid. And they signed the bus back then. Oh my God, bro! It was so much fun, dude. I can still name those Pittsburgh Steelers teams. Like that year that he came home on that military leave, it meant so much. We got to spend that time together, even though it's just 2 weeks.
Yep.
I can still name off those players on that team. And about that time, Cordell Stewart, you know, comes on the scene. You got Slash playing quarterback, wide receiver, running back, doing everything. He could punt. He could do everything. But Jerome Bettis, believe it or not, Neil O'Donnell was the quarterback, right? It's just, man, Carnell Lake on defense, Greg Lloyd, Kevin Green. Cool. Got a ring with the Packers, coaching up Clay Matthews. Levon Kirkland was like a 300-pound inside linebacker, just an absolute dog. It was a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. So, anyway, anything else you want to hit on, bud?
No, I think that was it. Only other thing in the chat tool for this call that said I'm calling it now. Quay with a pick 6 on Sunday.
Oh,
we did miss that when Savage had the opportunity last time we played San Fran. So I hope we do get one of those. Fred McFarley did say, though, after that, hand over the keys to for this. But, yeah, that's what we need. We need a turnover. We need to get that stat back up on the board. And pick 6 would be ideal. Like we said, get us a special teams play where we can get some points off a special teams play or a defensive score. And what's that? We could just say quadruple, triple 1,000% chance your way of scoring, or your way of winning. So that's what I mean. Just push them.
Yeah, Coach Lynn in the chat said Jacobs is a mutter. I can tell his mother was a mutter. His father was a mutter. Josh Jacobs is a mutter.
Yeah.
With that being said, the show officially sucks, so we're going to get out of here. We appreciate everybody hanging out. This was a lot of fun, man. We covered a lot of information. We're going to be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Lambeau, and we'll continue to break down the Packers 49ers. We'll dive into probably some NFL Pro stuff tomorrow and give you guys some next-gen insights on what to look for in the game, some key statistics. I know, Emilio, you'll be listening, probably out there working. But appreciate you joining me tonight, man. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, always, man.
Help me
I
out.
believe you just get away with not having to work in the morning. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be cold. I'll be over here sipping coffee thinking, Emilio's out there working. I'm glad it's not me.
Uh-huh.
Help me out here, Emilio. Can you do that? I don't know if
I got you. He's right here.
Those of you listening on the pod,
thank you for making us part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. Go Pack Go.